it has been phenomenal performance, and it is, it's got the right elements, the colours, the numbers, and we put a bit of big jackpot as well, which is always a good draw card. It's a good price point to start off with, but it's been one of the machines we've managed to push up the price point on a machine. So it started off at 10s, and now we're seeing it as predominantly 20s, 50, and dollar denominations going on the floor in the same type game. And we've seen the elasticity in that product being able to take that. So
sure.
That's certainly got a lot of elements, that appeals to the Asian player on the mass floor and also the premium mass high end as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Can you just, your company Shuffle Entertainment just merged with Bally. Makes you one of the more diverse suppliers in the industry. What is that going to bring to the Asian market?
Probably just to clarify one thing, Bally actually purchased us for about $1.3 billion,
right,
so
well,
they probably wouldn't be happy if we called it a merger. However, yeah, look, it makes Bally as a company with the products that Shuffle had before, all the proprietary tables, the electronic table games, and all the Shuffle or utility products, chippers and that, it makes them a very diverse company now. So virtually, Bally becomes a one-stop shop, and then you add not only the slots from the Shuff side, but the Bally side and all the content. You've got the systems and also the iGaming. So yeah, I can't think of any other company that just covers everything as much as that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's talk about social games. This is a big thing that's happening on the internet now. Is this having any impact in Asia right now on the games that the players are starting to request? Peter, have you seen anything like that coming through your shop?
Not too much. I mean, I know there's a growth in social gaming, but it's and there's a younger market of players coming into slot machines, but we don't see that type of game, I guess, similar type game coming in big numbers and being a big performer for us.
Okay. Sabi, you guys have the Double Down Interactive that's very successful on the Facebook page. Is that something that you see transitioning to Asia at some point?
Yeah, no, I think it definitely will, right? As Peter said, social gaming is one of the fastest growing elements, globally. It's a bit of a phenomenon at the moment. The great way that you can really use that from a content perspective is, a lot of the challenges that we have as manufacturers is around how do we know that the content that we produce can potentially stick in any particular market or jurisdiction. So being able to deploy that potentially first through social gaming, test it, use things like Facebook and everything else to try and get player feedback before we then go and try and force them onto a particular operator is a huge advantage. Similar to Ken, when we produce content now, what we try and do is produce it once, but for any channel that's out there. So the fastest growing elements for us are mobile. It's the interactive online piece. It's social gaming. It's the EGMs. It's pretty much anything and everything that's potentially out there. And that cost saving that we have by producing a game once and putting it across multiple channels then gets to be able to pass down to the operator. And then the operator has the possibility of using those different channels to be able to then attract their players. So social gaming is one element that we're very much more concentrating at this precise moment on the land-based operators and how can we leverage something like Double Down to be able to attract more players to the land-based casinos, because that's predominantly where we've come from as a business, and that's our primary focus, is how do we make sure that we can leverage as much of our different channels and our different content and all the different solutions that we have to make them more successful.
Takahiro, your company, the parent company of your company actually produces pachinko machines in Japan. Do you think that gives you a leg up when it comes to addressing the Japanese market if and when casinos are legalized there?
Yeah, actually, I went to Japan last week to participate to Japan Gaming Congress. I bumped with Ken there. Pretty interesting. Everybody looking at the Japanese market and very unique market as well. A lot of pachinko, pachislo parlor across Japan, around 13,000, 14,000 stores. from Hokkaido to Okinawa, and a lot of machine means a pachinko, slow product in there. So if the casino intellectual resorts, integrated resorts open in Japan, in anywhere, Hokkaido, Tokyo, Okinawa, wherever it is, that should be more attractive because we have arcades, very good arcades products already. It's not gaming, and even pachinko pasiro also non-gaming. However, once that kind of integrated resorts to be opened in Japan in the future, it should be more attractive. Means because we have a lot of variety of product we already can see. How we make attractive to build casino or integrated resorts in Japan, that will be the key. And then we talk about regulation and what kind of rules to be set. We need to think about like a clear vision for Japanese IR. Then we can talk about the part later on. 2020 government is targeting that time frame, 6 years to go. That sounds like a very tough, but I hope everybody can work hard and make this happen.
Let's hope so, for sure. Let's talk about systems for a minute. I've been noticing here in Macau this year, there's a lot more emphasis on getting people to sign up for players clubs, and I know that was really a challenge when Macau first opened. Peter, do you see more people signing up for players clubs now, and are you offering them incentives to do so?
Yeah, loyalty is a big thing in Macau. You know, most of the venues have a very mature loyalty program in place. It's a tiered system in probably all the venues I've seen. So on slots, you know, even when I was at MGM 3 or 4 years ago, we were up to in the 90% then. We still see the same 93 to 94% rated play on our slots. Tables, it's a little bit slower, but it's probably about 50%. But there is a big push, obviously, to hook players into your property, to make the exit costs a little bit more expensive. And the programs are getting better. They're getting more